although the China economy is slowing down, but the personal wealth in China is growing. And actually, by different companies' estimation, they all came to the same conclusion: is by 2020, China will be the largest, will have the largest personal wealth in the world. It's surpassing the U.S. So it will be more than 30 trillion US dollars. So overall market is growing. The second thing about China market is where Phoenix Finance is in, we're looking at the second tier of the investors. Basically, the first tier investors is people having over $1 million to invest. So that's a customer for traditional private banks or traditional wealth management firms. But the people with, say, $50,000 all the way to $1.5 million, this group of people are largely ignored by all channels before, up to this point, because there are 150 million of them. And then the complexity and the work involved to serve them is essentially the same. What I mean by that is you have 2 million RMB or you have 20 million RMB. Both of these targets, they all have very complex needs. You need to understand their profile very well. You need to do asset allocation for them, and then you need to help them to do the transaction, to manage. So it's very complicated. So up to this point, traditional banks are not focusing on this group in terms of their wealth management needs. And then using technology, I would think the key advantage is, we can, once you have the data warehouse, once you have your model, once you have your app, once you have your transaction system, the marginal cost to serve 10,000 versus to serve 10 million customers. That's what the amount of customer we have right now is very marginal. And then it's the more you serve, the more profitable you are. Versus the more you serve, the less profitable you are.
But if it's such a great business model, presumably everyone's going to pile into it. At what stage does it become very competitive and your margins go down? I mean, is it something that not anyone, but a lot of people could replicate?
I would say wealth management is, the entry barrier for wealth management is somewhat higher than consumer lending. Because when you lend people, when you lend money to people, they don't really care about your brand. They don't care about your history because they're getting money as long as they can pay back, that they're fine with that. But for wealth management, it's a little bit different. That people look at your brand. People look at, especially with the background we just talked about, people don't just look at your interest rate. Even in China now, people look at your brand, looking at how compliant you are, looking at your management team, and so on and so forth. So I would say the entry barrier for wealth management is definitely higher than the lending side.